Well, isn't this just peachy? All right. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Renewed Homestead. I'm Ben. This is a peach tree. So why are we looking at this now? I didn't record this originally because I was just testing after watching some YouTube videos about propagating peach trees. And back in January, I came up to this tree and took some little cuttings, and I'm going to show you what happened with that. But we brought you back up, kind of recreate the moment, but to get a couple more starts here to see if we can't propagate some more, because what's better than a free tree, right? I mean, we did a count the other day, and I believe we've planted 58 trees since we moved here. Hey, in the words of Jean-Luc Picard, make it so.
Make it so.
I'm sure that's not what he meant, but I like it. So anyway, so when you're taking the cuttings, you really don't need any more than 4 to 6 inches of a limb, and you want to try to get the first year, the new growth in here. Anything that's older, the more solid woody stuff, that's not going to root very well, if at all. So you really want to get the new stuff. But you can see this tree has already got a mess of peaches growing on it. Survived the frost that we had late, and it's doing well. I did have one peach off of this tree the first year we got here, the first summer. It was amazing, and that's why I want to propagate this tree. So anyway, so I'm just going to take a couple of these cuttings, and we'll head back down to the shop, and I'll show you how I put the rooting hormone on, get them in the pots, and we'll show you what the results were of the January attempt. So grab a couple more here. And I do not want to get any with peaches on them. Three, and let's go over to the other branch here just real quick, see what else. There we go, there's a couple right here. We'll take these. And let's head back down the hill and show you what we do. All right, we've got our pot with our potting soil, and we make our own. You can use store brand, whatever is your soil of choice. But we, thank you, Loki. We pull sand from our creek and use our compost, and so that's what we've been using. Now our peach cuttings, what I was showed to do is you want to make sure you cut it at an angle. You want to have sharp blades, as sharp as these are, but giving that little bit of an angle. And this is not a product endorsement. This is just the rooting hormone that I have on hand. But now, for cleanliness, for eliminating possible diseases going from one tree to another, a lot of people will pour some of this out into a little disposable cup and mix it in there. That way they're not dipping back into the same one. That's probably smart. I don't do this a lot, so I'm not really worried about it at the moment. But anyway, I'm going to dip right into the container and get a fair amount on there. And part of the trick here is, I dig a little bit of a hole with my finger. Now the soil isn't wet. I didn't want it wet right now. I'm going to get that down in there because if you have a little bit of a hole, then you're not as likely to push the rooting hormone off. And then I will go back through and water afterwards. But we're going to run these through real quick. And you want, I guess, a couple things about it. If this had leaves all the way down, I would be pulling them back. In fact, I'm going to take some of these off because you don't want, basically this little stem is going to be pulling moisture up and trying to support these leaves. So if it has too many, it's going to be working too hard to support the leaf life, and not grow roots. Hopefully that makes sense. But so leave it about like that. That might be a few too many. I will probably pull a few off of that, but let's get our cut in here.
Now you want to cut under the node?
Yep, you want to just along right. You see these little nodes? That's where your roots are going to start coming out of. So you want to have at least a few of those down in your soil. Like I said, if this were a little bit damper, it would be one thing. If I watered it now, it would be too wet to try to do this. So just gonna put that down around. Put that at an angle. This isn't necessarily the best time of year to do this. We're kind of recreating this for you, but hey, we might as well try it, right? So if those peaches grow, ooh-wee. Denise will kill me because we've got 3 that are going to go in the ground. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would put us at, what, 60, almost 70 trees? Can't help myself. And a bonus feature. Anybody recognize that? Those flowers? Blueberry. There's a couple great big blueberry bushes up there. I'm going to definitely pull the flowers off of these. Now blueberries actually are supposed to propagate really easy. And the same thing here, we're going to get these lower leaves off because those are going to be under the dirt anyway. This one might be, and it's the same principle. You want to get the new growth and get, well, I don't know if we can even cut an angle on this one. Very skinny. And the other thing we could do too is stick these in water, and blueberries will root that way. But since we happen to have space in the pot, and you can never have too many trees or blueberry bushes.
Depends on the tree.
That's true. That's true. Get one of those nitrogen fixing things, and all of a sudden you got all kinds of nitrogen going all over your property. And then what? Actually, I'm going to take another one off of this. This is actually probably a little bit too long. Because again, this stem has to bring the moisture up and support those leaves and grow roots at the same time. So get those off there. Last one. All right, so what, 2, 4, 5 peaches, 2 blueberries. Now when I water these, if we water a ton from the top, then there's a good chance that this rooting hormone is going to wash out into the soil. So I'm going to dampen it from the top, but then this is a nursery pot. It's got a hole in the bottom. I'm going to set this in a pan of water and let the dirt absorb the water up that way. It seems to work best for me, so I just need to find a bigger pan and we'll put that in there. And in 4 to 6 weeks, we'll come back and we'll check these. But in the meantime, we will show you the ones that we did this before. We'll show you the roots, and we'll get those planted. Okay, so here are the peach trees that we started in January. They have been in the shop near the grow lights. They've not been on the heat mats, but there were 5, and I've already checked these, and I'll show you what the roots look like. We haven't planted them yet because we're doing what they call hardening off. Because they've been inside, they need to be able to transition during the day. We put them out in the sun, get some fresh air, get some breezes and all that. And they've actually spent a couple nights outside now, so we are ready to put these in the ground. But I wanted to show you the roots that came up from this. I'll very carefully dig this up. But I was so shocked and delighted and amazed. Look at the roots on that thing. And that's from doing what we just showed you. Is that crazy? I mean, it's got to be a few years before we're going to see peaches off of this, but, you know, as always, when was the best time to plant a tree? 5 years ago.
And it's free.
And even better, it's free. Free food and delicious peaches. One of my favorites. So, I'm going to put this back in the ground for now in the morning because you can see it's getting dark. We will get out and get these planted. We're not going to take you for that. You've seen us plant, about 60 trees now. And I can't even count how many bushes. But anyway, so that's propagating peach trees from cuttings. There are other trees you can do that with. I've got some apples that I'm trying right now because we're taking down our old apple tree, and I thought, well, if we can preserve it, I mean, they aren't great apples, but still kind of a legacy tree to this property, so I'm trying to propagate those. I don't know if they're going to take. I tried some of those before and I didn't have any luck with apple, but I'm going to keep trying. But I'm excited, our first success here. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless, and we'll see you on the next video. And don't forget to get those pets spayed and neutered. Bye, everybody.